Is this the part where I put the Impact Wrestling music in here to start the show? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We own the night here at Hameen Media Group's YouTube channel and channelattitude.com. As this is the Impact Attack. Yes, it is your Impact Attack. And that music that you're hearing, let me turn that up a little bit. All of it just looks at me like he wants to stab me. That is your Impact Wrestling. We own the night music. Please don't strike us down, YouTube. Channelattitude.com. I am your host, one of your hosts, Colin Whitesong, and I am joined, and I believe it's still Monday where this gentleman is. It's the reason why we celebrate Veterans Day in November. It's the Vet, ladies and gentlemen. The Vet. Say what's up, Vet.
Well, hello everyone. Hope you had a fine holiday today. Pretending that you care. So funny enough that we play We Own the Night, because that was not our intro on this episode. That was not our intro. We got some generic something. Now, is that something? Is that an old song, or is that
a Jake something?
It was the it was a remix of their original of the theme from like 06, like when Impact first went to Spike TV.
Oh, so it's a remix, because it didn't sound familiar immediately to me, but that would make sense if it's a remix, because I was just like, what is this?
Yeah, kind of like, hey, listen to this, redone version of an old theme because there's 20 years and shit.
So even the old theme would have been too expensive for them to license back, so they had to remix it. So it's going to be the cheapest thing possible whenever we're talking about Impact, I guess. Like whatever cost them the least amount of money. By the way, who am I talking to anyway?
I don't know.
We don't even know who,
because there's just this voice coming from the void, ladies and gentlemen. That voice you hear, ladies and gentlemen. Now, my contacts are kind of dry tonight, Vet. So it's the 20 years of Impact Wrestling. I get the 3 months throwback of Brandon having a hazy camera here because my contacts are really dry. Everything's kind of hazy right now.
I see.
So it's just like the good old days with before Brandon like blew into his camera and he could call out.
Wow, you're right.
Brandon, welcome to the show.
Yo.
Yep, that's right. Now, before we get into things, I just want to go on ahead and shout out the chat here, and we're going to do that the only way that we can with little moose.
With the reading?
With little moose under here. It's so dramatic, us going to read the people that are here in the chat. This late in the night on this Memorial Day, it's Monday, Memorial Day, Tuesday, for those of us in the Eastern and Central time zones. That's right. Soak it in, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. If you guys want to do a random moose or whatever while we're doing this, Vet, Brandon, however you feel free. All right. This week we've got Canada Spaceman as always. He's early. Do you have anything to say about Canada Spaceman, Vet?
I mean, what can you say? He shows up from space, makes his presence felt, and then he disappears back into space at some point during the show. But if he stays around, he'll definitely be posting random links and comments, copy and paste. Very valuable member of the community.
I just want to know if he's seen Bubbles on one of his space missions.
He's seen Bubbles on all of his space missions.
Pretty sure. All right. So that's one down. Next, we've got Lab Rat. Lab Rat in the chat. Vet, do you have anything nice to say about Lab Rat?
I have everything nice to say about Lab Rat. He's willing to put his body on the line to test all of the new products and medicines and everything that are coming out. And you could say that he's a test product for our HMG products as well, because he's he's always right here front and center, willing to take whatever we give him.
Next, Brandon, what do you think they're testing on him this week?
Oh, man. Whew. That's a good question.
Good.
Smallpox vaccine.
Smallpox vaccine. Okay, I like it. I like it.
I thought we had
Next,
one of those. I could have sworn we had one of those.
It's for the new strain.
good. Now we
That's still to come. They said it's coming. It just hasn't come yet, and they're already getting it ready.
we're getting
nice.
blue ball vaccines now.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get one for that.
All right. Well, the music cut off, so I couldn't get quiet for this one. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one. Havi Uchiha. Now, apparently, Rick Samurai has a question for you, Brandon.
All right, what is that?
He says, "This is crap, man," and he said, "Food and drink chat." I guess that's the question. Labrat said you were close. It's monkeypox. To continue with the acknowledgement of the chat here.
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
All the way from Germany, we've got Alexa. Let's see. I know I'm forgetting someone who is here in this chat.
Alexa, play Impact Attack.
Alexa, play the Impact Attack. Play Review Impact Wrestling. Oh, that's right. We've got Liz here, Lizbeth, who says, I missed last week's Impact because my power went out after the first match. So we'll see what I missed. Good excuse. That's like my dog ate my homework, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, if you're going to do that, why would you, if she's going to lie, why would you admit to trying to watch Impact?
Look,
that's much more damning.
You better say Liz. Like I wasn't going to say Liz. Would she think this is the ridiculously random podcast where we don't read Liz's emails?
Damn.
Yeah,
Oof.
that was Ray's fault that night.
Damn.
Good job, Ray.
Out of control. Well, I'm glad I see now I'm not gonna say something like I was gonna listen to the ridiculously random podcast, but my power went out, because I would never say something like I'm gonna listen to the ridiculously random podcast.
No,
That
you
sounds
wouldn't
like-
say it out loud. No, you would never say it out loud.
That's something I expect you to say if you were kidnapped.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like a coded message.
I mean, you were on just a few weeks ago. It's okay, Vet.
Allegedly.
Unbeknownst to you, and you were there. We
Right.
heard you. All of us.
Allegedly.
Right there. He said it. Unbeknownst to me. Clip it, everybody. Clip that.
Because you were drugged. Manchurian candidated into coming on the show. All I had to do was play that one clip of them boys, and you just go into a trance, and I get to control you.
Hey! Forces of nature is what I'm talking about here, people. Science!
Yeah,
Science.
Colin's driving around in a rickety van with Briscoe's promos painted on it.
Wow.
Okay.
Don't count.
Don't count.
Okay.
Don't count.
Well, anyway, Elizabeth is still a little salty about that.
She
But
is.
we're happy to have our lone lady with us as always. And speaking of ladies, guys, this is kind of a little transition. We've talked about MMA a lot in the past. You know, we talk about what's going on in UFC sometimes. At least Colin and I do, and Brandon suffers through it. But did anybody get a chance to see Double or Nothing and the debut of Paige Van Zant in the ring?
No, I didn't watch. I'm not like Ray. I'm not gonna lie to you and be like, yeah, I watched it when I didn't watch it, but I had better things to do. I was hanging out with my family.
Well, everybody had better things to do, but some people watched it anyway. So, yeah, I thought we could talk a little bit about it, or if you even seen any clips of it. But yeah, it was pretty unfortunate, actually. As not only in the sense that
Not everybody
You know-
knew Ronda Rousey.
yeah, exactly. Well, even she can't be herself anymore these days, because everybody has just thrown their hands up and given up on the craft. Like we just don't care about putting on good TV. We just don't care about putting on good shows. We just don't care about anything. Everybody's phoning it in, whatever. Which you can expect that sometimes most times from the WWE, but you normally AEW doesn't phone anything in. They just kind of spectacularly fail, which is, I think, is always a little bit more entertaining. But yeah, but I wanted to comment on it because, you know, so the funny thing is Paige comes in, you know, and we've seen her on the program several times, but now she's in like her fight gear or whatever, her fight gear. And, yeah, exactly. So guys, she showed up fat. Okay. Like Paige Van Zant is now fat.
She's fat.
She like Deonna Purrazzo?
Not really.
Like Deonna Purrazzo thick.
Not quite, but compared to her, you know, her fighting weight, you know what I mean?
Oh, she's like a welterweight now?
So I guess, yeah. So and she's got the same thing that I always talk about, where, you know, she's got that she's got the top, the pants hiked up, and that one like 3-inch strip of stomach there, just showing just enough to show a roll if you bend over or whatever. And I was just wondering, like, I know you don't have to get into the strictest weight, you know, control for being a pro wrestler, because they don't really have weight classes for real and all this other stuff. But here's the thing. Paige Van Zant, I'm sure you can, I'll ask you this, Colin, and see if you agree with me. Paige Van Zant was an anomaly and a marketable person in mixed martial arts because she looked like a normal, attractive human woman as compared to the converted gorillas and stuff like that they normally have fighting in mixed martial arts. So it's like, beautiful. Yeah, there's a few girls that are, you know, attractive by normal societal standards, like, you know, Michelle Watterson, whatever. But Paige Van Zant was the one that it was like, hey, here's a pretty girl. Fought like a pretty girl too. So obviously when you can't cut it, you make the transition to fake fighting, right? Well, here's the problem with that. Professional wrestling is a cosmetic business. Okay. Paige Van Zant does not even look like, she's not even like the 5th or 6th most attractive woman in AEW. She wasn't even the 5th or 6th most attractive woman that night. So if you're going to come in and expect your hotness to carry you the way it did in your failed mixed martial arts career, the least you could do is tighten up that like extra, you know, 5 to 8 pounds, you know, if you're going to be presenting yourself on television and shitting the bed. Like, no one expects you to put on like a barn burner like Ronda Rousey did. She shit the bed. The reason she shit the bed is probably not her fault. Look who she's working with. She's with Tainara Conti, who's hotter than her, arguably. Definitely in better shape than her. But that's like but that's a kindergartner leading a newborn. You know what I mean? This was never going to be good. So the least you could have done is shown up in fighting shape, in my opinion.
What you're saying is probably would have been better off as a bra and panties match.
I don't. It damn near was already. Like, they started in the bra and panties, except, you know, if the bra and panties were, you know, a sports bra and, you know, your shorts hiked way up, and she had those like the fishnet stockings and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. So I guess my point is, like, for the people that are making the there's lots of people that make the transition from MMA to pro wrestling. But professional wrestling has gotten so phony over the past, you know, however many years, 15, 20, or whatever, that those transitions are not as smooth as they could have been. If we had been trying to, even though we know, hey, it's wink, wink, it's all not, you know, it's not on the up and up, but if we take pro wrestling seriously as a combat sport, you could have such great crossover with mixed martial arts so that it comes in and it's like, okay, now these guys have a slightly different style, but it's still something that makes sense. And it doesn't have to be this bad, because you won't have Paige trying to go in there and do the foolishness that the AEW is like used to putting on with their indie-rific stuff. But I don't know. Can we get out of this? Is it possible to hit a reset button somehow or not a reset button, but can we gradually transition away from, all right, everybody's just going to line up and dive now? Can we get something to where a mixed martial arts and pro wrestling crossover is more feasible going forward?
There was a suggestion I heard pitched a while back of having like an MMA trainer coming to like the companies and showing the guys how to do it for real, but also in a way to work it and make it look like you're doing MMA moves and holds, but it's really a work.
That's what Bulletproof Troops kind of wrestling style is he's kind of trying to mix more of the MMA and submission grapple style into his transitions and stuff on the mat, which I don't know how fun that'll be for viewers at home watching, guys transition like that on the mat, in a professional wrestling aspect. But he seems to be putting it together really well, especially in the Control Your Narrative promotion that he's been working in so far.
Well, the way you do that is you have him be like a Goldberg sort of, where you don't take too long to do anything, right? If you did something like where Blake Troop has a match where he puts, ties a guy up in knots real quick and then gets enough that people can visually see that the other guy's in trouble and gets a submission that way, rather than, like coming in and doing a bunch of smash power moves like the traditional squash match guys like to do, then maybe you could sort of get that over. But that's the thing, though. It's like you get a guy like that. That's, you're coming on the scene and you're trying to say like, oh, I'm a legitimate fighter. Well, you're also, by just saying that, you're saying that I'm not saying this is not a shot at Troop, because I don't think he said this like I'm legitimate, as opposed to everybody else. But people have in the past, right? We've heard it.
Like CM Punk.
Like like Ronda Rousey when she went batshit insane toward the end of her first run and took the advice of somebody to say she would kill all these girls, and then she lost a fake fight at WrestleMania. Yeah, so we've seen this in the past, and as you're saying, anytime you say legitimate, and you hear even Taz say it on commentary sometimes, like, this person's a legitimate athlete, like, as opposed to what? Everybody else? So you even with the language that you use, you're not really taking care of your own company, right? So when you come in and say it's legitimate, you're saying that everything else is not. And then it just looks stupid. It's like, well, if this is not legitimate, why are you here? Why do you want to be involved in this? If you're legitimate, why aren't you good enough to beat guys in your own chosen profession? That's the big caveat about trying to cross over, because guys like Brock Lesnar, who had some success, however manufactured the success was in UFC, he could say he was a UFC champion. So when he comes to the WWE, it's like, I'm a UFC champion. I've been a WWE champion. I can go back to the UFC saying I was a WWE champion. And then it's like, it brings everything together. But if you just scrubbed out of MMA and then they try to push you as a legitimate killer or whatever, like a Paige Van Zandt, and then you get in there with somebody that doesn't know how to work like Ty Conti, and you shit the bed, on a long ass pay-per-view that everybody was already tired of by that point. That's not a good look. So I guess my point on this long rambling segment is, if you're gonna be a girl in wrestling and your gimmick isn't being fat, then stay in shape. Okay. And then that's like the main thing.
Say no to looking like Kimberly. That's what the vet is saying right now, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not that bad yet, but everything, the road to 10 pounds overweight starts with one sandwich.
Yep. All right, guys. Anything else before we hop into the Impact Wrestling review?
Labrat says, "What do you think about Will Ospreay tweets?" I don't know. What did he tweet? I don't listen to that kid.
I don't know what he tweeted either.
My response to what Will Ospreay was saying about the whole actors versus actual wrestlers is I just have a couple of questions. Did you actually win any of those championships, or did you get them because your name happened to be underlined on a board that night?
We're waiting for Will Ospreay's answer, but he hasn't gotten back to us yet. So
he hasn't gotten back to us. How's Ace Austin doing over there in the Best of the Super Juniors?
I think he's still he's not eliminated yet. I think he's still in a position with enough points that he could possibly come out of A block on top. But I don't think he will. I'm not sure.
I've heard Alex Zane is the popular one of the BOSJ so far.
I think that Alex Zane and Ace Austin have really gotten themselves over with the people. And they do different towns every night, so it's not like you know what I mean?
Crowd seeing them every night, yeah.
Right. They're the people. Obviously, if you're buying a ticket, you're probably following along to the shows that you can't go to. But the crowd has seemed to have enthusiastic responses for both of those guys. So they've ingratiated themselves to the audience very well over there. Alex Zane has calmed down a lot of his foolishness, which is weird. You'd think it would get, more amplified because you're trying to get over, but I guess he's just getting some good advice and stuff from some of the
Les has seemed to have gotten him over though, Vet. So seems to be working.
But he also he's working. He's fully working his Taco Bell gimmick where moves are named after he calls that the Baja Blast, and shit like that. And so, but yeah, they've been like I look in the crowd and I see these like young ladies and stuff with like Ace Austin's bleeding heart glasses and everything like that, like they're buying it. So
they like it. Yeah, they like the weirdo white guy with his. There's gonna be a rash of Japanese people buying extended staffs, so they can like come out and explode them out. Wait till you see that in New Japan, you're gonna be like, God damn it, that's Ace Austin. Why is that young lion doing that? And then Minoru Suzuki's gonna come out and just like take the staff from him and beat the shit out of him with it.
Yes, he definitely was. But yeah, so Will Ospreay, he's saying what the thing that you have to understand about Will Ospreay a lot of times with these guys, they like let their character bleed into their interviews and stuff like that, because New Japan is supposed to be, they're still trying to do pro wrestling right. They're still trying to keep in kayfabe a lot of times. Some of those guys don't 100% do it. It's usually the foreigners that don't do it. But Will Ospreay is always going to like be putting over his company, and so he's not going to say like, "Oh yeah, we're just playing a part over here." He's trying to say it's more prestigious, it's more real competition. That's just what he's trying to say, I think. And he's a heel, so he's he's gonna say shit like that. But I get his point though. Like that's how the rest of the world perceives guys in the WWE is like this. If you're not a fan of wrestling, you look at the WWE as like phony. It's just like everything they do. Even if you got some good guys working there, like he said, I know guys can wrestle, but they don't really get to. They just have to do what they're told. And if you want to take the real or fake aspect out of it, just look at the kind of shit that they do on Raw and SmackDown. Oh wait, most people don't. That's why pro wrestling's in the shitter. So because they're not buying it either. So yeah,
they're not buying it. All right. Should Matt Taven and Ace Austin switch places in Japan? No, they'd notice the difference. They'd be like, "Why is Mickey Mouse out there wrestling in the ring now?"
Yeah,
his Mickey Mouse gloves.
Too tall. Too many gloves. Can't do it. They like Ace.
They love Ace Austin. All right, guys. That's it for the free for view. I'm sure the free for view ended like 7 minutes ago, but we're ready to jump in to the Impact Wrestling portion of the show. Now, like you said at the top of the show, we didn't get We Own the Night during the package. We got the special music from long ago, as Brandon talked about, or sorry, The Man Who Wants to Bring Back Sex. SEX. Do you put that in your games when you play for your high score, like Randall does?
No,
I do that when I do ass or other 3-letter words that could get me in some trouble.
I always like to do SEX after Randall. I was a big fan of Randall's handle on the last Pyramid Fighter game that he would play. Pharaoh. God, I love that like only a few people would catch that reference. But you and your people with your Trailer Park Boys references. No, we're over here throwing out Clerks the Cartoon references. Bear driving car, how can that be? And we start off the show with Alex Shelley versus Trey Miguel. You know what? The circle's still off. I don't know if they're ever going to get the circle right. So I'm done complaining about the circle. But can you get the shake right? Can we get the shake?
You think he'd had enough practice with that motion?
But other than that,
Hey-o.
everything is great. He's got the T down. The M is perfect. Like everything about like him getting it timed down is perfect. I just need to see the circle get right, which I'm not going to harp on that anymore. Impact, you've heard me say it long enough. And let's get the shaking going on. Because you saw him, he kind of like hesitated. If you go back and watch, you kind of like see him hesitate and the shaking, and then he's like, oh, okay, I got to shake now. So you should know when, like, give him some kind of cue before the shake to let him know, okay, it's like, I got to shake it here, right?
He should know how many shakes he needs before it's ready to explode.
It's true. And always only shake it 2 times when you're done peeing, because after more than 2, you're just playing with yourself. Look, I've activated Liz's OCD. She wants him to stop the circle. She saw this and was like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes!" Canada Spaceman likes the intro. I'm assuming here. I don't know if he's being ironic.
It's you never can tell with Spaceman, but I mean, he's got the right idea. Like Trey Miguel's got the right idea. It would be cool.
It's cool, and
maybe other people don't watch it that closely. But I feel like if you're going to bother to do something at all, you might as well do it right. Or, you know, I think about it sometimes like maybe a good enough reason to do things right is just to avoid scrutiny. Like to give people something and never give people ammunition to complain about you in all walks of life, at your job or, you know, in your interactions out in the world, whatever. Just don't give people a reason. If that's not enough motivation for you, I don't know what else to tell you.
That's true. Well, the winner of this match, ladies and gentlemen, was Trey Miguel, who won this match showing off his pin style. And Trey Miguel moves on to the Slammiversary Ultimate X match. Vet, you liked that pin style, huh?
Nah.
Kind of giggled there.
I like you saying it in that terminology, I guess.
Showing off his pin style. There was a couple. There's the cradle he had there. There's a little small package he had going there. Was that a mahi straw? I don't know the names of these different pins that he was doing, but he had the I think it was a crucifix pin. I think that's what that was. Yeah, the crucifix pin. There were a couple different pins, and he finally got him with the crucifix.
Yeah, classic couple sweaty guys trying to hold each other down. That's what we do here. That's our business. We were watching. That's what we were watching. Yeah. So, Brandon, your thoughts on the match?
A decent face respect match. They kind of told the story, set it up beforehand, so you know what to expect going in. I did like during the finish that there wasn't Trey didn't get a lot of heavy offense. He did just take a lot of shit plus a submission. So for him to go to try to end it with quick rolls made a lot of sense, and I liked that they went that route. But like the way that the shock and disbelief people have it on kickouts is kind of just getting a little cartoonish. Like if somebody kicks out of something, just get right back and go into offense. Like you're on top still. All right, they kicked out. Just go right back to it.
But I hit my signature move. He should be hurting really badly. How did he get out of that? Oh, God, I can't.
Yeah, if you're in good enough shape to complain, you're in good enough shape to continue,
or set up or get ready for the next thing.
Right. Now, if you want to show that if you want to give people time to register the fact that he kicked out of something that is surprising that he kicked out,
and you're frustrated and you got to show emotion, there's ways to do that. Yes.
Yeah. Or you don't, or you show that you're exhausted and you don't even have time to react. And that's why you're just lying there. You know, it's very possible that the move that you did, like, I know you don't think about it, but like, when you have to pick a guy up and throw him down, it's pretty tiring. Mm-hmm. So one thing you can do is act like you're like it takes everything you got to do it, and then you have to take the last little bit that you have just to cover him. And then when he kicks out, you don't have to sell like visually like surprise. You sell that you're tired and just fall off, and that's why you can't pick it up right away. And then the crowd they'll put it together themselves like, oh shit, he kicked out of that. That was desperate. He expected that to be it. and he's so tired now he can't follow up. Easy.
Yep, and doesn't shit on your big move because it was like you pulled it out of nowhere. You took everything to crawl on top of the guy, and it was just the last minute.
Right. On the whole topic of like kicking out of big moves and finishers and things like that, like I do think it should be used sparingly, if at all. But you have to remember, like, if you're use a baseball analogy, right? If you're a pitcher, it doesn't matter how good of a pitcher you are. It doesn't matter if you throw a 105-mile-per-hour fastball. You have gotten roped in your career. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough, and sometimes you don't have the technique that's required. So if you go for your move and somebody kicks out, it doesn't have to be like, oh, that buries his finisher. It could be the guy, he just didn't get it. He just didn't get it right. He didn't get all of it. The other guy was able to protect himself, whatever. There can be a rationale for it. Guys just use it too much as a crutch, like they do everything. A quick pop or whatever. It's, it should be saved for like long-term stuff.
Yeah, but I actually remember how I was using the storyline one time, how it was back at WrestleMania 14 when they had Kane kick out of 3 tombstones, and then later on there was a tag match. I think it was Austin Undertaker versus Kane Mankind, and Undertaker pinned Kane with 1 tombstone, and McMahon called him out. And he's like, I think you guys are in cahoots. I remember it took you 3 at WrestleMania to beat him, and he went down to 1. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, see? You can do something with that. Now, did they plan all that? No. But did they take something they did in the past and, remember it and call back to it? Yes. And that's how you can use things like that. Also, getting your spine driven into your anus 3 times, maybe that does shorten the amount of times it takes you to be defeated by that move, I guess. So you can also look at the cumulative effect of doing moves to people.
Well, you got to remember, Hogan threw out his back doing the leg drop all those years.
Right.
True. Think about what's going to happen to Ember Moon with all those top rope stunners that she hits.
Ooh.
Well, Ember Moon has some sufficient padding too, so that helps. But yeah, well, let me talk about this match for a second. So I disagree with the idea that this is a good babyface match, because these are supposedly friends, and like they have like a mentor-mentee relationship, with Alex Shelley and Trey Miguel. But Shelley's like working a dragon screw on Trey Miguel's knee. Like, and then he's like slapping him, like paintbrushing him, like while he's taking the heel roll, and he's also licking his hand before chopping him, which is very, very, can I just say that that's a very feminine thing to do, and it should kind of just be left to the Trish Stratuses of the world to be licking your hand. I don't think that's really the greatest look, when you're a dude, but I normally don't pay attention when Alex Shelley's on. But watching this match really reminds me of why, because Alex Shelley goes through the motions of a pro wrestling match. Like he'll do the moves, but everything he does just looks completely phony, and his psychology is piss poor. So like, it's like watching somebody, it's just, in class, when you'd be like, it was English time, and you'd be reading like a story or whatever. And then like, they'd pick different people in the class to like, okay, you read this paragraph now. And then, they get to the kid that he reads it, but it's just like, he's obviously just monotone reading the paragraph or whatever. Like, not putting any emotion into it. Not that you have to perform reading paragraphs in class, but just saying, like, he reads it fine. He pronounces everything correctly. He has his fine cadence, but he's just reading what's in front of him. That's basically every Alex Shelley match. He just does things. When he does sell things like his face, I don't buy his emotions. It just looks like he's like, hey, act surprised. It's just he's not good at the everything else. And it's boring. So this was no different here. He tried to cripple his friend. And I just don't like this match. What do we have? I hate this match.
No, we don't. We don't have an I hate this match. Sorry, you just.
I love this match.
That's all you get. Sorry.
Yeah, that, but not that. The opposite.
Not that. Did you see what I put in the chat? I said he is the Gilbert compared to Saban's Goldberg.
In a way.
Anyway, well, Vet, if Brandon doesn't have anything else to say, we actually get something that you'll be excited about after this match. Brandon, do you have anything?
I think that is everything.
Good. We can get to Vet's excitement, right? Yay, Vet's excitement. As we are backstage, Josh Alexander and the Briscoes with Gia Miller. No interruptions during the promo.
Good.
They got their promo off. No interruptions.
Good.
And then after the promo, as the Good Brothers were walking away, or not the Good Brothers, as the Briscoes were walking away, they ran into the Good Brothers. And we got a fun little promo here in between them, which the Good Brothers said, until you beat us.
You don't count.
Until you beat us, Vet.
You don't count.
You don't count. But the Briscoes, they want to make it.
Let's make it count then.
Let's make it count then. Right?
Let's make it count then.
So soundboard's going to be full of Briscoes by the time we're done with it. Everything. It's going to be 100% Briscoes.
Let's make it count then.
They're that kind of team.
Right. We're going to make it count. Let's make it count then. Such a good promo. They're so fun. And, even with the Good Brothers.
Right.
Just so much fun.
To my point earlier, Candace Spaceman's already jumped ahead of us and is talking about the next segment. He's posting results because he doesn't like how we take our time to get to certain things, so he can't wait. He wants everybody else in the chat to know what happened next, and we're going to talk about Masha. What do you say? Mashed potato Slamovich. Yep. Yeah, we'll get to that. But we're going to talk about the Briscoes for a second because it's Briscoes time. This promo is just
Sorry, I felt like you needed that when you said.
Well, it wasn't quite that. It was classic wrestling. Like the Briscoes and Josh just did a wrestling promo, saying the basic generic things that anybody can say when they just need to fill a couple of minutes, and it was fine. But like you said, they waited until the promo was over, and it was like Josh left, Briscoes were getting ready to leave, and then the Good Brothers walk up. Seems like such a small thing, but it was great. It was like, that's how something like this might happen, a backstage interaction. Like, I'm so tired of guys walking in the middle before anybody even says anything, which I think it probably happens later in the show anyways.
It does. There's a moment when it does.
Yeah, so but just that one little thing of like, okay, we're leaving, and then the camera's still there, and it's like, oh, wait, hold on, there's more. See, there's a reason for the camera to be there, number one. Number two, it's like, it's reasonable that somebody could be walking by, and then let's say if you're backstage, right, in a real situation, somebody could be filming a promo and you're trying to get to somewhere else in the building, so you just have to wait off to the side while they finish shooting the promo because you can't walk into the shot. So this could exactly be that. Theoretically, the Good Brothers have to like wait, and they politely wait, unlike anybody else in Impact, until the promo's over. Or they could just be walking coincidentally at the right time, whatever. But however it is, even though it's like a minute detail, those things make it better. Subconsciously for the audience, you're seeing that it's like, okay, that seems more real to me. It's something that we want. Yes, I'll buy that. I'll buy that this happened. And they didn't, even what they said was not out of the realm of possibility. It's just like, let's make it count then. But the Briscoes didn't say something like, all right, well, next week we'll put our titles on the line. It's like, they're not making their own matches. They're just saying, hey, let's make it count then. Let's make it count then. Great line. Let's make it count. So yeah.
Yeah, my only thing was I wish, because there's so much character between those four guys, I wish we could have had more than just the standard basic, you got to beat us if you want to, make it count. There's just so much more there's so much more they could have went to for that.
But if the Good Brothers did, then it would turn into something stupid. So it's best to just let them. Yes, it's best to just take this and just accept it than to let the Good Brothers have too much to say. That's where things go off the rails, and then you've got a miniature podcast on the Impact show.
Then you shouldn't have said it.
That's right, Tony. That's right, Tony. And after that, after we make it count, we go to the Masha Slamovich versus Havoc match that we've all been waiting for. It's the first time
since last week.
It's the first time that Masha Slamovich is tested, and she squashes Havoc.
I don't even know if this is her longest squash.
Havoc.
This wasn't even her longest squash, I don't think. I think she toyed with some people longer than this before.
Over strong, and I wrote strong in all capital letters here because for her, Havoc's the biggest woman in the division, and she beat the shit out of her. I was like excited to watch this because I was like, all right, we'll see how Havoc works her size, and I was expecting like Vet to be like, yeah, I really like this match because Havoc worked her size, and then it all went downhill from there because Masha took over and got her up and put her down for the finish.
Yes. Oh, notice how I never say that Havoc needs to lose weight because that's her thing. She's that size of a person. She's that shape of a person.
She makes it work.
Now, if she retires from wrestling, I strongly encourage her to lose weight. I think just for health reasons, everybody should be at a healthy weight. I'm not with the whole fat is beautiful thing. You're just making excuses to go to McDonald's. Just take care of yourselves and don't die of a heart attack. But as long as you're going to do this character in wrestling, okay. And but Masha worked her size. She's like, I'm lifting you, and she did.
But it was definitely a Masha squasha match. Brandon, you got anything?
I'm wondering if they're kind of toying or teasing with the idea of going with like a monster heel push for Masha, which would be ballsy considering the current world climate.
It's true.
They might go for a monster babyface push for Masha because people that do this shit usually end up getting over.
And you never know. They could, depending on how the crowd reacts, you always change direction.
And I think she's over in the GCW circles and the indie circles because she does a lot of deathmatch stuff too. So she's got a small following that she's only going to grow here with Impact Wrestling. Yeah,
but you got to remember though, like we know about this kind of stuff because we're sort of inside. But to some people, Impact is like the WWE compared to the fucking GCW and all that other stuff that they don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like a lot of people are only seeing her on this, and for this works.
They're not watching Effie's Big Gay Brunch.
They might be, but we can't assume that they are.
Shouldn't assume. You should never assume those types of things. Vet, don't assume. Don't assume gender, and you don't assume if people are watching Effie's Big Gay Brunch. It's just the two things. It's the rules.
Those two things probably go together too. Like it's a good combination.
Good combination of things. You know what else is a good combination of things?
Yes.
Trey Miguel backstage with a fan club.
Oh, I thought you were going to say anything else.
No, Trey Miguel and Alex Shelley pops up backstage. They do the handshake. They do the respect. They do the Ring of Honor respect handshake.
Yeah, we're friends, even though I just tried to cripple you at the elbow and knee joints. Yeah.
Then it gets interrupted by Kenny King.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kenny King gets interrupted by some red-haired dude that nobody knows who he is because he's in the Trey Miguel fan club.
Forklift driver?
Yeah, he's somebody.
You don't know who that is? You don't know who that guy is?
I only watch Impact Wrestling, Vet. I don't watch these mud shows. I don't watch Effie's Big Gay Brunch, so I wouldn't know who this redheaded gentleman is.
So
who is here right now?
So you have no idea who this guy is.
I have no idea.
And Masha Slamovich is super over with you.
She's totally super over here.
Okay. Well, this is not to be. Hold on. Okay, but I don't want you to waste my joke.
He gets challenged by Blake Christian for his Ultimate X match spot. Kenny King does. By a nobody. Whoever this nobody is, standing right here in front of Kenny King, challenging him for his Ultimate X spot.
Well, you just said his name, so
I don't know who he is. Because they said it.
Well, you said his name is Blake Christian, not to be confused with Black Christian, who he's challenging for the X Division spot. So how funny is that is this a rib on me? Is this a rib on me that they're making this match?
Black Christian and Blake Christian, yes.
Yeah, okay. Don't think they
is
don't.
Is there
listen.
a Black Edge? Is that like Jay Lethal?
I'll get no, not quite. Well, I don't know. We'll get back to you on that.
Caprice Coleman.
I don't know. Well, it would have to be somebody with like, well, Edge just cut his hair, so I don't know. I'll have to revisit this. But yeah. So they probably definitely are listening to the Impact Attack every week and trying to put a rib on me. However, the rib continues because if you saw these garish green and blue lights that they have on in the background, like of all this, it's just like, you know, Vet keeps calling for these to come down. Let's get more. Let's get different colors, green and blue this time.
Double or nothing, guys, on these lights.
Double or nothing on the lights. So I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Well,
but,
you know
yeah,
what?
Blake Christian. Did you know, Brandon, who Blake Christian is? Do you remember him from like the one time he showed up on Impact before?
The silence is
Take that as a no. He's very forgettable, other than the shocking gingerness of the look of him.
I thought
who's more forgettable, Blake Christian or VSK?
That's a damn good question.
Hey, guess what? Guess who you got to acknowledge now?
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
Say something nice about Buckshot Kid.
What can I say about Buckshot Kid that isn't nice? I mean, the guy's great. He's very supportive, and he only watches Impact Wrestling. So between Impact Wrestling and my Twitch streams, I don't know if he watches any other content, but I'm definitely glad he's here because I just talked. Yeah, he came in when you're talking about the fucking lights, exactly, because he tipped me off about the lights. And this isn't exactly the part that he's talking about. We'll get to that in a second, but this is where I noticed, like, oh, all right, we got some new colors here. Not really into this. And then wait till later, man. Oh my God.
Well, Brandon, you got anything on this backstage segment here?
Not a whole lot. Other than it's nice seeing Ed Sheeran appear.
Ed Sheeran, nice. I like it. I was wondering what Carrot Top was doing backstage with with Trey Miguel after the segment. Rich Swann, fresh off the slopes, backstage with Gia. Or actually, he's not even backstage with Gia. He's just backstage. He's got the ski poles on. He's still got his ski boots on. He's got his ski goggles on. Cutting a promo on Matt Cardona and Matthew Raywalt. He wants to go all night long with the Drama King. That how do you feel about Rich Swann making advances towards that man like that?
It sounds like this should be more at home on Effie's brunch thing than perhaps
Effie's Big Gay Brunch
on an Impact Wrestling episode. But I'm not judging. Just thought that might be a better platform. Yeah, let's it is interesting. I like the wrinkle of the announcer who's still a wrestler and just doesn't really do it much.
He's going to come across that desk, beat on Rich Swann.
All right, just turn that off. We are definitely going to get struck for that.
You can't even hear it. You can't
turn
even
that. That's because I keep talking over it, and that's what I'm doing that on purpose so that
the all night long part.
Yeah, but I know you're trying to get to it. You should have just had that as a drop anyways already. Why don't you? It should be like 20 Briscoes and one how many things drop? Yeah, one all night.
So
all
I get
night long from Line
there's 8 pads, right? So you get 8 pads.
Turn it off.
You get 8 pads. You get 8 pads of noises, right? And then there's multiple pages. So I can have multiple pages of different noises that I want to play on here.
All right, turn it off. You got it. Turn it off. I don't want this to get taken down like the other one did.
And none of it gets taken down.
Bro, Anthem took down the YouTube video because we played the Briscoes promo. You think they're not going to get Lionel Richie?
No, they won't.
Fuck out of here. One of the biggest songs ever.
They'll just flag it. Anthem's bigger than Lionel Richie.
Right.
All right.
Well, we'll see. Time will tell on that.
Anything on Rich Swann, guys?
Now I'm wishing it was Lionel Richie who cut the promo.
I know, right? He's gonna go all night long with Matthew Raywalt. Chelsea Green versus Jordan Grace, guys. Vet, I'm gonna not Vet. Brett, I'm gonna go to you first because it's Chelsea Green. It's Chelsea Green.
Man, I'm gonna say her work was kind of weak and off tonight. She should have been 100% in the cowardly heel role, doing dirty, low-down tactics to get the advantage over the much stronger Grace instead of just like the weak punches and that stuff. And like this is a good opportunity to get over as like a dirty, conniving heel, and missed it.
I like how he has this view about this match. And in reality, Canada Spaceman, in reality, no way could Chelsea Green ever kick out and get up from being pinned by Jordan Grace when Grace has all that weight and power on top of her. And he was probably like, yeah, Masha Slamovich just totally beat the crap out of Havoc. Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that people regularly compete against men in this promotion, so what's the difference really? She had no problem beating Raj Singh or whatever it was in that match, right? So
it's true.
It's fine. But what's not fine, like Brandon said, is this match. It's like fucking. I'm gonna put the blame on both of them, but I noticed a lot of awkwardness, especially at the beginning. It looked like Jordan Grace was visibly frustrated, which is always a sign of being unprofessional. Like when you have that look on your face, like this person or whatever, when it's probably Jordan Grace's fault in the first place for being the shits and trying to do too much that she can't do well, and Chelsea's like, what? There was just I'm not gonna, like, I don't remember exactly. I don't have like a photographic memory of this, but I just remember something about Chelsea being in the corner looking confused or whatever, like while Jordan was trying to set something up, probably didn't communicate it very well. Whatever the case was, not a great outing. And I don't really, I guess this is furthering the business with the only people that are here. But if we're seeing Chelsea, why aren't we seeing Cardona? You know what I mean? Like, obviously they're not in the Maldives anymore if Chelsea's here. So, what's up? But anyways, yeah, Jordan Grace goes over. Big
deal. Jordan Grace over.
Interesting booking, too, with having the women's matches back-to-back like that.
Just getting it out the way. Just get them out the way. Let's go ahead. Just get them out the way. You know why we had to get them out the way, Brandon?
Because move, bitch.
Well, that and probably because Scott D'Amore was being accosted backstage by Honor No More with Mike Bennett very upset about what happened to his wife. And, I kind of agree with him. If it weren't for the damn Good Brothers, they want a shot at the Good Brothers. They want these damn Good Brothers. Apparently, there was someone that farted just now. He heard a fart. I don't know who farted. Astrid Wolf on Twitch. Thank you for stopping by. Well,
you there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
There you go.
Clip it and send it to Castrating the Marks. Let the experts figure it out.
There we go. Yep, we'll do that. I want to be on a Get My Go one day. I'm just glad that we don't have a bottom right here. That would be terrible. If Ray was here, I would make him be bottom right. I would make Ray be a bottom right. So Mike Bennett's very mad.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Mike Bennett mad about Maria. They want the Good Brothers, but the Good Brothers, unfortunately, we saw earlier, which they didn't say this at the time, are now booked against the Briscoes at Slammiversary. So now Honor No More is very upset. Fat Eddie is very upset. He didn't get his double Whopper with cheese before the show, so he is hangry. He is upset. Scott D'Amore did not have his headset on, so I don't know if there was no meeting or anything he was taking part in. There's no way for him to call for help without his headset. Honor No More saying if they can't be happy, no one's going to be happy here in Impact Wrestling, and they're just going to do whatever they have to do until they get their tag team title shot, until the OGK, Mike Bennett and Mickey Mouse get their title shot. No one's safe.
You mean Tan Oni Lorcan?
Biff Busick.
And tall Ace Austin with Mickey Mouse gloves?
Mickey Mouse gloves.
Don't confuse our audience, please.
I'm sorry. Fat Eddie's very upset. That's what Lab Rat said.
Yeah.
And Javi was rewatching Get My Go before this, so it's funny that we gave Get My Go the shout out.
Well,
I love that show.
Did you guys notice anything else about this?
Besides Scott not having headphones,
Right. Besides that,
they're letting Kenny King speak more.
were they? I didn't know. I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening to a word anybody said.
Oh, what were you looking at? Because Maria wasn't there.
Yeah, that's another funny thing, right? Like, I took one spear, even though I'm a wrestler, and this is the promotion where men compete against women, but I'm out. I can't be here. I'm selling the spear. Get fucking real. She should have been there just, like, pissed or whatever. Unless she wasn't there because she's pissed at her husband, but that's stupid, too.
Was this what you noticed?
No.
Jim Miller not wearing a bra?
No. Was she there?
Was she there?
This was the Scott D'Amore
That was
part.
the Scott
So
D'Amore segment.
it'd be really weird for Candace Space not to notice Gia Miller not wearing a bra. And I guess he must have been watching something else at the same time on a
He's got
different
that
screen.
Impact
Maybe
Plus
she's got
feed.
an OnlyFans or something,
He's
right?
got the
Gia
Impact
Miller
Plus
OnlyFans.
feed.
Okay. They just have her off on the side, like adjusting
Just
herself,
constantly
waiting for her
filming her.
next interview.
Just constantly like, okay, Gia, you're all right. Next
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah. So no, it's not that. It's the lights. It's the fucking lights.
That's hey, Buckshot Kid got it right.
Right. So, as I said, he tipped me off to this beforehand, but he wouldn't have had to. I would have definitely picked up on this. So they're in a hallway, and the hallway is fully lit. Like, the lights, you can see the lights on the ceiling are on in this hallway, and everything's like just completely bright, right? But of course, they have those shitty colored, green and blue colored lights shining on the wall. But because it's so bright in the room, you can barely see it. The reason that you can see it, the reason that you could even notice it all, it would look like something like got thrown against the wall and left a mark. You know, like that's the level of lighting that we're seeing from these things. But what you can also see is that people had just haphazardly left them in the middle of the floor on the hall in the hallway. They're just like in the middle of the floor. They're not up against the wall. They're just like sitting like off center on the floor. And when the guys in Honor No More are like moving around, you know, you can see past them, like the lights are just sitting on the floor there. It's like, why do you even bother? You can't see the lights, but you wanted to throw them down. This is like the stupidest, most unprofessional looking, haphazard bullshit. Like, you're just wasting your time trying to, it can only be a rib. It has to be a rib on me personally. You're doing this now to me personally. You know, these lights are stupid, but you were like getting ready to film this, and you just like, oh wait, hurry up and get the lights in here. I don't care. Just do it. Just throw it in there. Or Vet's gonna just like this promo. You know what I mean? I don't understand what their fascination is with these things. They can just return them to Home Depot or whatever, or Party City or wherever the fuck you get lights that just shine a green light. They probably have interchangeable like colors and stuff that you can hit a switch and change them or whatever. I wouldn't know because, you know, I would never buy something so superfluous and unnecessary. So I'm not an expert on this stuff.
It's a fire hazard, Vet. Where's Fire Marshal Vet coming in to
Let me show you something.
Let me show you something. Check out that bar. It's a fire hazard.
Let's say you just want to do a nice little promo in the hallway. Yeah.
Good job. Fire Marshal Vet coming to an Impact Wrestling near you. Deanna Prazzo backstage with Gia. What I've noticed a lot about the promos, Vet, not interrupted with music, but with the nice crowd noise background. Like they didn't unmic the crowd for whatever the crowd was doing with what's going on in the ring while they're doing these backstage things. So you just hear a constant flow of boos the whole entire time that Deanna is talking to Gia. It's like boo, boo, and they're not even reacting to anything that she's saying. It's whatever you hear that is going on in the ring. You just hear the crowd. So that definitely, I noticed that. Then, as always, you know, because we've got the crowd noise as the background, which you really, really hate. We get an interruption as Tasha Steelz walks up with Savannah Evans, and Tasha wants to make an unholy alliance with Deanna Purrazzo to get rid of Mia Yim. You know, there's a spot for you, Vet. Either down at ringside or at commentary. There's a spot for everyone here with Tasha Steelz. Where do you want to be? Where's your spot? In the Boricua Badass Army.
I don't know. I'm pretty white bread. I don't know if I'd really fit into this, but you know, at least Deanna's got that like Italian thing.
You could
I
be
don't
the
know. Maybe
Oreo
there is
cream
no.
filling.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I don't know if some of the people there swing that way or not, but let's just say that I'd be willing to help Tasha out in whatever way I can.
The way that you helped out Maurice when you met her in training?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
Now they invited Deanna to help with the Mia Yim problem, but Deanna didn't answer, so you know, maybe she's not that into it.
Nope.
And the spot would be turning off the lights. Yeah, I would just kick those things like, oops, I dropped them all at different times separately.
They all just broke. Accidentally, sorry. I got you these other cool lights. They're just white lights. Just put them in the background.
Yeah, just in case. Next we have, I just have to say this, Colin, and you can go back to recapping the show, but next we have, you know, Frankie Kazarian versus 98 Goldberg.
Oh, can I say something too about Deanna? Is that she was definitely looking like she was from Jersey during that promo.
Hang on, wait. It's not a Jersey accent, but
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, decidedly un-Jersey.
Fucking awesome. Yeah, so like you said, Sabin and Kazarian, a very tan Frankie Kazarian. Winner is no one, as Honor No More hits the ring and beats both men. So yeah, there's that match. That great match just down the toilet thanks to Fat Eddie and his gang of ruthless thugs. How dare you interrupt Goldberg's match like that?
Boo,
boo.
He keeps the streak alive, and they should have grabbed those lights up off the floor and used those as weapons.
Get your shit together.
That's all I ask.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Anything on this, guys? On the Chris Sabin match? No, nothing. I think Brandon's watching get my go. He'd rather.
Since when did Frankie Kazarian start looking like the love child of Randy Orton and Christian Cage?
That is true. Recently, when he started growing his hair back out, the man looks great. He's in some great shape. Talking about a cosmetic business, the man looks great.
Oh, he does. Yeah, it's just like his whole top to bottom. It's like he looks like you took like Christian and Randy Orton and just like, all right, combine.
Smashed them together. Smashed them together. I like Frankie. I wish I could have seen him more in the WWE, you know, on
main roster.
On that main roster.
Well, you had to be watching Velocity at that time.
Yeah. Cut your hair, Chris Sabin or Frankie Kazarian. Okay. When will Kaz return to Suicide though? Canadian Spaceman.
All right. So anyway, moving right along.
Well, I don't know more backstage again, which I didn't really pay attention to this promo.
They're very proud of themselves. They're quite proud of themselves for what they've done.
They're more in this show.
They're bragging to the camera about what they did. So.
Yep. And we go back to the ring. If you guys don't have anything else for the big tag team match that we've been waiting.
No, I do. Are you kidding me? I do. You didn't catch this? Heath and Rhino got in their face, okay, in Honor No More's face, and then Rhino called them, he said complaining pieces of crap, but they bleeped the crap part, like as if he was swearing, but I read his lips and he didn't swear, he just said crap. So like if you're gonna look, this is Rhino. This is the guy that was cutting promos about Sandman's wife sucking his cock or whatever. I don't know. On ECW, and now he can't even just say shit so they can bleep it.
You're gonna get us kicked off. Me get us kicked off for playing Lionel Richie. Look at the words that are coming out of your mouth. Dirty mouth.
No, that's perfectly fine.
Dirty sailor mouth.
You can say that on YouTube. We're an hour into the show. We're well safe from it.
Dare you say those fucking crass things on this fucking goddamn fucking YouTube channel? You
Rhino said
terrible person.
Rhino said it.
No, you just said it.
Back in like '99, he said it.
Don't say those things. Because guess what? Then we're gonna have to talk about Gujar and Morrissey and Mahabali Shira and Raj Singh if you keep saying those things.
It was great. It was my favorite match.
It was your favorite match, really?
I don't know, really. No, I don't know. Maybe it was the
truth comes out.
Match. It might not have been. I might not have watched it at all. I might have been doing an Elden Ring dungeon.
There you go.
But I did notice that spear is over, baby. Spear is over. What do they call it? The something spear?
The gargoyle spear.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they call it gargoyle spear.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he's like a gargoyle on the side of the ring. Like, you don't see me over here. Now I'm coming to life to spear you.
Really?
Yeah. You haven't noticed that the last 2 weeks that he's done it? This just in, the vet does not watch Impact Wrestling.
I think I proved that I definitely watch it, but I didn't see this.
He reads all the dirt sheets.
Really call it the gargoyle spear?
Yep.
That's stupid.
I get it. It's just dumb.
Dude, the spear's it's terrible. The setup for it is terrible. Like you have to accidentally walk into it every week. I've said this from the first time I saw him do this. Is like, how do you set someone up to do this every week?
What's the I said the same thing. What's the difference if you crouch in a corner or you crouch on a buckle? What's the difference?
Because you can get the running start. You can't really get like a running start, or you can move around the ring if somebody's not positioned right to hit a spear. Right, you're pretty much stuck to a guy hitting his spot while you're stuck in the corner, leaping off the second turnbuckle.
It's no different than any move that comes off the buckles.
It's
you mean I gotta get a guy to stand there for a blockbuster? You mean I gotta get a guy to stand there for a missile drop kick? You mean I gotta get a guy to stand? You're like, what are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you gotta make
it's no difference. You feed into it. You're disoriented. You get the gargoyle spear that I always knew what it was called, and 1, 2, 3. It's fine.
It's like the lethal injection.
It's not like the lethal injection.
I'm gonna let you bounce off the ropes.
It's fine. You can't stop it. You're too disoriented. You're woozy.
That happens out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, you can. This happens out of nowhere because you never know which of the 4 corners it's going to be in.
And Moose does the spear.
A lot of people do the spear.
Yes, but it's Moose.
Well, if Moose hasn't had a talk with him, then what can I say?
Well, then Roman Reigns is going to have a talk with him. Did he acknowledge Roman Reigns?
He kind of looks like Roman Reigns, you know?
The
leaner
like,
Roman Reigns.
Like,
leaner Indian Roman Reigns.
Like Roman Reigns when he first started wrestling, before he got muscles and all that stuff, yeah.
He got muscles before he took the advice.
He drank the Florida water.
Oh, yeah. Before he had people acknowledge him. Yeah.
Taking that B12.
Or he had what, Vet?
You there. Sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
Guys, we're really about to get to the real favorite part of the night with the Vet. It's Moose backstage with Gia. Moose and Macklin. We're getting Moose and Macklin versus Morrissey and PCO, which is a very random pairing, very random match here.
And ridiculous.
Yeah, very, very ridiculously and random. And Moose says, Sammy's a fraud, and Sammy's scared of him. And Macklin interrupts the promo, but not to like get in his face about anything. He's just letting him know that he wants Moose to like tie up his loose ends. He wants Moose to get Sammy out of his head, and Moose is like, he's not in my head. And then like the TVs flicker and this weird Sammy promo thing happens, and Moose is all looking around disoriented, and And then Macklin's like, I need you to get him out of your head. Like Macklin didn't see any of the weird stuff happen. Like it's only Moose that sees the Sami Callihan stuff that's going on while Moose is acting crazy. So that's what we've got as the co-main event of the evening before we jump into our 6-man tag match, as the Vet and Brandon have both fallen asleep. Oh man, the Good Brothers put them in a chin lock. They're in a deep rest hold. Oh gosh, the Vet. He's so a deep sigh.
You know, I always like seeing Moose, and it started out strong when Moose was doing 100% complete shoot and said, Sami Callihan is the biggest fraud in professional wrestling. And I was like, yes, I'm with you here. Okay, go on. Continue, please. And then the rest of everything happened. And I was just like, see, this is exactly what I was afraid of. This kind of shit. This is like... So, yeah. Like you said, Macklin comes in, says, get Sami out of your head. And then Sami Callihan hacks in somehow, which let's backtrack a little bit. You were talking about the promos, or you were talking about not the promos, during the promo of Deonna Purrazzo when they have the booze going. Like they're trying to make this seem as if this is not pre-taped completely independently of the show.
But
this is
all of them though, Vet, because when I went back and got those clips of the Briscoes, I noticed it during the Briscoes and Josh.
Right.
But there was somebody's music was actually like somebody's audience music, like somebody was coming out to the ring while they were shooting these promos in the back, basically.
Right. So this is all like after the fact, like I'm sure, because they're trying to make this seem as though Impact is happening live and they're just filming it live, which we all know they're not. But they're trying to present the show like that. Okay, fine. I understand that, but it is a little silly, especially when this happens where Sami Callihan supposedly hacks into the interview and we see like the distortion or whatever on the screen, and then like you said, nobody else sells it except Moose, who's like got his fucking dukes up like he's a fucking 1900s boxer.
Put him up.
He turns into John L. Sullivan all of a sudden, and then Macklin just goes, "I need you to get Sami out of your head." Like, what do you?
I'm not gonna sit here and let you guys bash this. You got to think outside the box here, guys. Like, what's Elon Musk talking about? Chips inside your brain. How do we know that Moose isn't testing one of the products and Hammy hacked inside of that, and we're getting to see that?
It's true. It's true. It could be. You know, he is not your typical athlete, Vet. He's not an atypical athlete, right? He's very different from the normal athletes that you see coming into your wrestling gyms each and every week, and he might have some kind of technology in him, you know, to make him stronger, better, and faster. And Sami could be hacking into that technology. He's on to something here, Vet. He's on to something.
Let me remind you that this is the same show where you just had these two cheap floodlights laying on the floor trying to illuminate the
Anthem didn't pay
scene.
For these. Moose paid for these services.
Let me also remind you that Moose shows up here in a fucking t-shirt as opposed to the clean suits that he's been wearing.
Medical implants can be very expensive, so he gave up shopping at Joseph A. Bank and Men's Warehouse and opt for the Hanes wife beater. You're a very huge fan of the black Hanes wife beater, Vet. That is your go-to. I think if you open up the Vet's closet, it's just like Homer Simpson. It's just black wife beaters.
Regardless, I still don't see how we can all see it and no one else can.
Buckshot Kid frames it up nicely.
Yeah. This is exactly like this.
Oh my gosh, guys, you got to acknowledge him. Oh, that is not acknowledging him. That We're gonna. Sorry. He is back and better than ever, ladies and gentlemen.
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge
That's
me.
right, Eric Bischoff. We are acknowledging you. The man
anyway.
who won the Monday Night Wars, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I'm glad he could stop in. So anyway, basically what I'm saying here is that my fears about Moose are growing with things like this, as he goes from being questionably booked as champion to wearing a t-shirt and acting as if he can see the live feed being hacked and putting his dukes up. This does not bode well for our favorite, almost the namesake of the show, the Moose Moose. We don't call it the Moose Moose anymore, and it's probably because they fucked up his run and they continue to fuck things up. It's like we almost don't want to attach his name to this product anymore, even though we really do want to put him over and we really do enjoy the things that he's trying to do with the chicken shit and the bags of lemons that he's being handed constantly. So all I can really take away from this is he said Sami Callihan is the biggest fraud in professional wrestling, and like I just have to be happy enough with that.
Brendan, you got anything else? Brendan.
Man, you know this thing could have really needed some SEX.
Okay.
Sports Entertainment Extreme.
I think I'm going down the same path you're going down, Brandon, but I'm not quite there. All right. Yeah, so let's see. All right, next we go back to the ring for our main event. We've got the VBD versus the Walking Briscoes. And VBD over after using the weighted hockey mask and getting one over on them boys here. Poor Briscoes. They lost their first loss here in Impact Wrestling since coming back. It's okay, Eric. It's okay if you're on a private plane and you've had too many cocktails. We appreciate you coming by the show. Vet, what are your thoughts on the Briscoes?
I love them.
I know. Do you think the Briscoes would have won the Monday Night Wars had Eric signed them?
Possibly. But then again, you know, Eric had everybody, and well, we saw what happened.
Even David Arquette.
It just turns out that guys after the merger didn't like wrestling. So
I blame Jim Hurd.
Yeah. But in any case, the Briscoes, though, they were here, and we like them. And the Briscoes are like one of those teams that, like, I don't really care what they're doing. I'm just happy. It's like a comfort food, you know, like when you make yourself like a macaroni and cheese or something like that, you're not sitting there eating it like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. I love this. This is a main gourmet course for anybody in the world. You're just sitting there comfortably eating it because you like how you feel. That's how the Briscoes are. I don't care what they do. It's not that I think that their matches are so great, even though they're good at, it's like they're good at everything they do in the matches, but like, I don't look at their matches and say, oh, that was a classic Briscoes match or anything like that. I just enjoy the fact that they exist, if that makes sense. There's certain people that you want, like for me, there's people I want to see and there's people I want to watch. The Briscoes are people I want to see. So I'm just happy whatever they're doing.
Would you chalk up your love for the Briscoes to
Forces of nature is what I'm talking about here, people. Science! Science!
Is that what you would chalk up your love of the Briscoes to?
Yeah, it's things like that. They just have a way of drawing you in and making you feel authentic. They're like whatever they're doing, you just kind of buy it. That's how they can get away with doing ridiculous things. And that's why when they just dive out the ring and do crazy stuff, it doesn't matter. Like, I just don't care if they're doing that, because when I see other people do it, I'm like, you suck. And then when I see the Briscoes do it, I'm like, go ahead, guys, whatever you want. You've earned it. I just don't, I can't put up a struggle about it, because you know what I mean? Like, they're so good at all the aspects of the things that they do. So I'm willing to overlook certain things. They're like the opposite of an Alex Shelley, right? Like, where no matter what they're doing, you buy it. And whereas Alex Shelley is like,
Don't count.
Yeah, don't count. Anything he does is like, you're just doing what you think a pro wrestler does because you saw it on TV. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. You're doing a paint by the numbers painting. You're painting inside the lines, and it's you're not even filling the whole line, the whole section in. This is Alex Shelley's the equivalent of leaving small floodlights on the floor in the hallway in a fully lit hall. And the Briscoes are the equivalent of whatever the most extravagant WrestleMania production ever is.
Coming down in the cart, like Zicky Dice is bringing Johnny Swinger to the
better than that. Every Briscoes is like Shawn Michaels entering the Anaheim pond on the zip line of like, you know what I mean? Like that's what they are.
Not the Blue Blazer zip line.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
So I thought the match was a little. Yeah, I thought the match was a little overbooked. If I'm being fair, and I mean there was a flag shot and a mask shot. It's like just a way too much at the finish there just to get the same result. It should have just been flag shot. Eric Young pulls him down, or mask, whichever one you want. Flag or mask. Boom. Eric Young pulls him down. Pile driver. Go home. Don't get the interference with the foreign object, then wrestle for another, like awkwardly try to set up a spot for another minute and a half and then hit him again with a different foreign object. It's just like a little much here. Unless they got told to add time or something during the match. Like if the ref said, guys, we need 2 more minutes. Okay. I guess that could have possibly happened. But since it's taped, I don't think that should matter. Oh, wait, maybe it is live. Maybe this whole thing is real and it's all live.
It is live.
They just needed a couple extra minutes. Whatever the case, it was a little overbooked, but it's the...
Who's Javi referring to?
I think you know who he's referring to. I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm not even going to acknowledge that terrible thing. I'm just going to say that I can be fair. A Briscoes match, a little overbooked for me, but whatever. I don't care. It's the Briscoes.
I was gonna say, just hit it in the private chat because I don't know who he's talking about.
Not even going to do that.
I don't even know.
This is the opposite of Roman Reigns. We're not going to acknowledge any of this. Brandon, your thoughts on this, please.
Yeah, decent enough match. I mean, I wish there was some stakes on it, like something like winner picks the stipulation at Slammiversary or something.
That'd be cool. They're gonna end up making this a tornado tag match or a triple threat because they're gonna somehow put Honor No More into this because of Bullet Club, because of the Good Brothers. There's gonna be some way somehow Scott caves again and gives the people running amok, his contracted employees, running amok in his own promotion, and he's gonna give them what they want instead of suspending them or firing them or doing anything like that. You know what? Since you're over here ruining my show, you're fired. Go home. Right? He would never.
You realize how many times that could be said on every single wrestling show every single week?
Yep. It never happened.
At least during the Attitude Era, they actually had the promo where Vince McMahon said, "Yeah, I'd fire him, but he makes me too much money."
Yep. It's true.
All right. Anything else on this show tonight, guys? Are you excited?
Get rid of the fucking lights. This is your
Let's
last.
make it count then.
This is your last warning before I start being unnecessarily critical.
Are you going to come in and beat up their Goldberg and just be like, this is for the lights, Chris Sabin? And then do whatever your like finisher move was in OVW? Is it the spear?
No, it wasn't a spear. It was a sharpshooter.
It's the sharpshooter.
I will fuck Chris Sabin up in a shoot.
With a sharpshooter?
Yes, just to add insult to injury, I'll put a fake move on him for a shoot and hurt him. I'll snap his back in half.
Oh my God, that's funny. All right. Well, Brandon, if you got nothing else, let these fine people know where they can find you.
You can find me at all the places at Miss T of the Transarchist, and as always, every Monday right here at the Impact Attack.
Brandon, you're done. Correct. All right. It looks like he's popping locking because he's so excited to tell you guys where you can find him on social media. Popping locking.
Yes, you can find me at the next Impact show tapings, throwing some lights around, as Liz said. And Buckshot Kid says, if he ruins the show, will he get a job with you guys? You don't need to ruin the show. We'll give you a job. But yeah, you can find some of my other jobs are, the Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we see a lot of crossover here. And we always enjoy acknowledging the chat over there as well. There might be. Somebody should steal it. Then, of course, you can find me here. Sometimes you can find me on the Smack Attack. I was there for their triumphant return a couple weeks ago. And we did a little fun show there. That's a must-see show. If you didn't go check that one out, channelattitude.com. Check out the return of the Smack Attack with me. We got into some stuff that was pretty enlightening.
What happened to the Smack Attack?
I think just scheduling with the guys. It just turned out to where Enright was, had a few gigs because he does those weddings and stuff on the side. Yeah. And then some other situation with his job, all of which he explains on the episode. So if you want to hear more details on that, you can check that out. And then MacIver was just swamped at work, so he says. But I just think he didn't want to watch SmackDown, and who could blame him?
Roman's the best thing about SmackDown.
Yeah, and that's something we talk about, where we talk about even though people love Roman Reigns, people love the Bloodline, people love Paul Heyman, people find all that stuff. But we also expose the fact that they're just treading water. They don't do anything different. They don't know what to do. Roman has no opponents. The way they got into the Bloodline is shitty and didn't make any sense. We talk about all of this stuff. We basically bury the Bloodline, even though it's the best thing on WWE right now. We bury the fact that even the best thing is just complete happenstance based on the Paul Heyman's involvement, and really has nothing to do with the company's overarching vision and creative. They succeeded in spite of it. If it was up to the WWE, Roman Reigns would still be dodging forklifts and, fighting Eric Rowan and shit like that and his spider. But Paul Heyman stepped in and, I guess somehow he got Vince and Tony to listen to him and let him do what he wants. And then we get the Bloodline. So, but even that, the tampering, the obvious tampering with the Bloodline, is if you know what you're looking at, it's very evident.
You're gonna get him versus Cody Rhodes, and then you're gonna get him versus The Rock to cement the Bloodline. That's all that's gonna happen.
I mean that would be fine, but what if Cody Rhodes? What if he's not going to Hollywood? No one knows who the fuck Roman Reigns is. If
The Rock's cousin.
The Rock has a lot of cousins that aren't in Hollywood. Okay. If Cody Rhodes had never left AEW, they wouldn't even have that. Their entire idea of a big marquee match is dependent on signing somebody away from AEW, which is just pathetic, really. It just goes to show you, because if you look at it, if you really look at what I'm saying here, let's I don't know anything for sure, but let's just go under the assumption that Paul Heyman has everything to do with the way the Bloodline is sort of booked and presented and everything like that. Let's say he's heavily into that input, and then it's Vince and the team on everything else. Well, that explains why they've built up no opponents for Roman Reigns to face. So we have a champion with no challengers, because somebody's off on an island doing good work, and then everybody else is over here I don't know, we made the most money, even though we've been in a pandemic state and stopped touring for 2 years and fired 100 people and all this other stuff, but we made the most money. Come on, wake up.
All about drawing money, Vet.
No, making money, not drawing money. They're not drawing. The only money they're drawing is if they have a crayon and paper.
Look, Vince, I drew this money for you.
Have you ever heard, how many times have you heard of the WWE saying, yeah, we're going to be in this building. Oh shit, we didn't sell any tickets. All right, we're going to be in this little building. Come on, bro. Don't don't let their cooking the books and numbers spinning and all that shit. Don't buy into that bullshit. You know, they're in serious trouble.
You're in big trouble, mister.
And we talk about all of that on the Smack Attack from 2 weeks ago. Not this past episode that I wasn't on. Don't listen to that. Go listen to the one I was on. And then if you want to join me at twitch.tv/opinionhaver, then you know, we might be finishing up Elden Ring one of these days pretty soon.
What are you
really
doing
close.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow is I don't know.
Maybe we can stream some Elden Ring finally.
Maybe.
Together.
Twitch.tv/opinionhaver. Well, I will carry Colin.
I might carry you with my Bloodhound thing, you son of a bitch. And my Bloodhound thing finesse.
I have a cold greatsword plus 25.
I have a plus 11 Bloodhound thing.
That's nice, kid. All right.
And a 40 dexterity.
Ooh. So Colin, what else are you going to be doing besides maybe that?
Oh, well, after I play video games with the vet, which I fired up Warzone this past week and had some fun. I don't see. I hate when
no one cares. No one cares.
I hate when they switch up the new seasons on Warzone because I love playing Plunder. Because I hate like team deathmatch. Like I hate having to like kill things and shoot things and all that type of stuff. So I'm not very good at the deathmatch style stuff. So I've been playing the forced deathmatch, which is like the giant team deathmatch that you have to play. I've been doing pretty good. I've been having like kill death ratios between like 1.5 and like 2.5, so not too bad. But I just want Plunder back. I just want to run around and get money and get shit and test different guns out. Like I don't want to have to worry about all this other crap that's jumping in. And I don't play Battle Royale all that much. But oh, Brandon's gone. Brandon died. Brandon's left us. It's just me. Your elephant destroyed Brandon.
What? Gary would never.
I think Gary just took Brandon's soul. Oh, wait. Gary just gave Brandon's soul back. What was it like inside of Gary, Brandon?
Stuffy.
Very stuffy. Was it hazy?
I don't know.
You don't know if it was hazy. It was just stuffy in there.
Look, Gary is not on Impact Wrestling. He does not abduct people and take them to other dimensions and things like that. He's just a normal desk elephant, okay?
Apparently we just got powerbombed through a table by 3-minute warning.
Who is this? Is this Ray making accounts?
I don't know. We had Eric Bischoff in here. Now we've got 3-minute warning in here, putting people through tables. My back hurts. You can find me tomorrow with April Hunter at twitch.tv/The A Show, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Big Ray, who could be any one of these people. I got to shade my beer off on stream or I go through a table. But you already put us through a table. So I already went through the table. So I'm not doing the beard. Big Ray, with myself, the Ridiculously Random Podcast. Vet hates it, ladies and gentlemen. Vet hates the Ridiculously Random Podcast. It's just the music.
So when I told Ray that it was news to you that you weren't going to be doing the show last week, that was news to him. So we really could have had an RRP last week, but thank goodness we didn't. But we could have. You were up for it, obviously.
I was up for it. I would have been like, Ray, let's do the show.
And then even after finding that out, he still didn't do it. Like,
no.
So
he was just like, whatever. I'm here with my wife, probably having some awesome Hispanic food. Well, apparently 3-minute warning knows Ray. Ray's drunk all the time. He does not know what's going on. Fingers in the hole. Thank you, Canada Spaceman. Can always rely on you for fingers in the hole. Eric Bischoff, you did try to warn us. It's all right. I changed up my name, so if you guys play, well, on Activision Call of Duty, it's still Wrestling Redneck, but I switched the gamer tag over. It's now 2C Dub. Did you notice that? Did you see the change?
No.
Oh, well, it is now. I think it is now. This. on the old PS gaming systems. PS gaming systems.
All right. I don't know why you would do that, but
I didn't want the other name anymore.
oh, come on.
Switching it up.
It's your identity.
Yep. So find me on there if you want to play some Call of Duty or you want to stream some Elden Ring with me and the vet. And I think that's it. So anything else from you guys tonight? Nothing? Bueller.
I'm shaking my head
Bueller.
for the people that are on audio only.
Bueller. All right. Well, for the vet, who we celebrate Veterans Day, is the reason why we celebrate Veterans Day. This is the vet.
Still shaking my head no for audio only.
It's in there. It's in the name. And for Brandon, who wants to bring back the sex, I am Colin Wysong, and we will see you next week. Same time, same channel, guys. Have a good night, and peace out.